Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. Happy Halloween. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, the Bitcoin price chart, the XRP price chart, and the altcoin market. Of course, we'll look over there at precious metals and the US dollar currency index. As we get ready for FOMC day tomorrow, the Federal Reserve will have their interest rate hike meeting tomorrow. We will live stream here that. We do that every single time. It's fun. There's usually a few thousand people in here, and we just sit here and kind of poke fun at Jerome Powell, but we also watch the markets as that ends up happening to see how the markets react as he is speaking. Typically, we see a lot of volatility today, tomorrow, and the day after FOMC, so prepare for volatility throughout the market. I have a little bit of optimism in regards to it just by looking at the cryptocurrency market and knowing where we are with Wyckoff accumulation, and we're back here. Something maybe surprising coming out tomorrow. We'll end up seeing if crypto is giving us a heads up to what could potentially be coming. So we'll run through any type of cryptocurrency news that there is today, and then we'll take a look at any type of financial news that there is today. Of course, Bitcoin still sits up there above $34,000 this morning. The big question out there still remains on whether or not this is going to be what we've been doing for the last 900 and something days, all within hours of each other. This is really just kind of a copy paste of 2014 through 2016, or if we are working on the bigger style breakout that happened there in 2020, which we've also, over the course of the last several months, been mirroring really identically as well. And then those altcoins were flashing a lot of those same signals at the exact same time. So we'll run through what's going on in the market. I mentioned it yesterday in Markets in the Morning and in the video, a newsletter being put out over there on blockchainbacker.substack.com. I'll post a link to this right here. This is a premium newsletter. For those who do pay and subscribe to the newsletter, this is 30 minutes long. I did audio record this one. We talked about it yesterday with developer data in the altcoin market. That's the longest one I've ever put together before. These things are usually like 12 minutes long to 20 minutes long, over 30. Data deep, super, in my opinion, super alpha in this newsletter that was posted here yesterday. Of course, you guys can always check out bcbacker.com if you want over 40 videos from me with over 11 hours of content, $39 one time, no subscription, no recurring fees. It's all yours. And if you're interested in learning about setting up your own charts and your own indicators, Wyckoff accumulation, patterns tools, Elliott wave theory, and then a lot of the historical behavior of the market with stuff we've been talking about here a lot on the channel, all put together here and organized for you over there on bcbacker.com. But all right, Bitcoin, big question. I still think we're going to march up higher here for Bitcoin, but we're just waiting to see what style it's going to be as it does get in there. For me, hoping, of course, that we kind of tread sideways here. What's one thing I want to show this? So one of the things we did talk about for like the last week has been whether there'd be like a divergence that could happen here between Bitcoin and the altcoin market. And you'll have to excuse me real quick if you hear me kind of pause for a minute. I am still fighting off whatever this junk is that my kids brought home, and I'm just fighting through it. So just excuse me for the next couple of days just to get through it. Fighting through here, right? That's precisely what we were doing in this. That is this moment right in here for Bitcoin back in 2020. And if we would see a divergence in the altcoin market yet, we haven't actually seen one yet. We still continue to see these altcoins pop, and they really popped yesterday too. And this morning, obviously, we've seen XRP pop above 60 cents. So there hasn't been anything emerging yet to show any type of divergence happening at this point. But it still could just flip and flop all around while that total market cap is really trying to break through that resistance level. And so, for Wyckoff accumulation schematic 2, it's like we're exiting that last point of support. So remember, there's two different styles of Wyckoff accumulation, and the endings are really the only things that are significantly different in here. Whether or not we have a last point of support that just drags out, or if we have that spring phase that shoots all the way to the bottom, shakes everybody out of the market, and goodbye. The market's going to take off without you. But looking through here, right, we see all the clear signals in here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? What do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your preliminary support, PS, preliminary support, followed by your selling climax. This is the selling climax where we have Celsius collapsing, BlockFi, everybody, Grayscale. It's all Doomtown happening in here. And this does mark the bottom for a lot of assets. This marks the bottom for XRP, marks it for Litecoin, marks it for Ethereum, Matic, the list goes on. Quant. We can name dozens of them that bottom in here, but we know Bitcoin goes and sets that new lower low right in there, just barely, right? So what do we have? We have an automatic rally, secondary test in phase B, or excuse me, secondary test. That's what we have, secondary test. Then we come in for secondary test in phase B with a slightly lower low, secondary test in phase B, slightly lower low. 5-wave rally up to the top, 5-wave rally up to the top, followed by an ABC happening here, ABC, and then boom, right back to the top of the range, right back to the top of the range. Where do you go? To preliminary support, which is where we are right now. So it's this big fight of trying to get through here and figuring out what will the dynamic of this look like right in here. Is it going to have to be in order to get that big breakout? You know, there's going to be some bleeding into Bitcoin to try to get that breakout to happen, maybe. But we haven't seen that happen yet. We actually have seen strength happening over there in the altcoins. And yesterday was actually a pretty decent day over there in the altcoin market. Let's do this. Take a look at others. Did others shoot up higher yesterday? All right, so we still see trending happening here in others, right? How about total 3? I didn't check total 3 and I didn't check total 2, so we'll find out together. Yeah, so here's total 3, still continuing to march higher. What about total 2? This is going to include Ethereum, so probably not. Well, still slightly, right? But total 3 is not going to include Ethereum in it, right? It's going to include the remainder of the altcoins, and then others is going to include everything except for what's in the top 10. So we've seen the continued growth happening in here, even in this time period right here, as the market is attempting to break out through. I've lost you because I'm not there. Attempting to break out through the preliminary support and through the top of the range. So we're all just waiting for that big moment of excitement. Again, if we do end up getting it, like I'm just trying to lay the foundation now so your expectations are understanding of what I'll be saying when that time comes. This area right here, I perceive to be the biggest level of danger. I think danger begins here. At about 1.6 to 1.7 trillion. But if, as a betting man, I always say, am I a betting man? If I was a betting man, I think DAI says that too. If I was a betting man, which I am, this would be my main area that I'm looking at. Is this up right here around this 2.2 trillion, just north of that April 2022 hit right there. That's where the big level of stopping happens at. You're getting real close to that 702. It doesn't even quite actually get there. But historically, this is really kind of the little blip in the radar that ends up being problems. So as we get there, just kind of prepare. Those are the things I'll be saying that we get there. But that's still a ways away, right? It still means there's the whole excitement happening before that. There's the whole point where everybody's euphoric. We're all cheering. Like I said, we'll all be singing Kumbaya and holding each other's hands and telling each other how much we love each other. I'm so sorry I was mean to you in the bear market. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm so sorry. But you're an idiot if you think it's not going to go higher from here. That's what will eventually happen. That's okay. We'll deal with that when we get there. But I do think that we're heading that way. Right now, it's just the big challenge of trying to get out of here to be able to do something like that. But again, the big caution flags all start there at like $1.65, $1.7 trillion for the total market cap of crypto. But definitely an exciting time. We're just now kind of in this particular phenomenon in markets where it's really the whole market's trying to get this breakout. And there's kind of washing machining happening here between Bitcoin and the altcoins. And the altcoins have been the winner here for the last week. But still, I don't know if that answer is truly there yet, if that's going to remain consistent, that if there's going to be a little bit of a washing machine in here still, as we still are just waiting, right? We still haven't gotten a big breakout to happen in here. And in this circumstance, there was still like a good month, a good month we had to go through here, and we're operating on a different time frame. We're moving slower in here. I've really adjusted the candles to make it look more appropriate. On the top, we're actually using 8-hour candles. Where on the bottom, we're using 4-hour candles. So while these look like they're on the exact same time scale, this is actually 2 times slower than this one is down here. So this goes from, October 21st all the way until November 4th. So that's what, approximately 14 days. You think, you move at that same pace, it's 28 days in here, and we're only on day 7 or day 8. So, you'd still have several weeks left of working through here, giving plenty of time for this market to start washing away the emotions of excitement to where, everybody's pretty happy, pretty euphoric, and then kind of washes that away and starts bringing back the worry and the concern that a fall is going to happen. So that's really all a market has to do. It just has to give a little bit of time, and enough time is enough to instill doubt in people. Why hasn't it kept marching up? Why is it getting bearish? Oh my gosh, is this it? Are we falling back down? Oh my God, 12K. But this, it does seem like there's going to be work that has to happen in here. And that's my thoughts of it as we are currently right now. So that's why I was like, yesterday, I was like talking about my video. It was kind of like not a whole lot new in there, but really focusing on like, it's going to be about research right now. If you're not spending your time researching, I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to be beating your head against a wall, screaming for this thing to break out and getting mad at yourself and stuff. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into it with the expectation we could be here for a couple of weeks trying to break out. And when that breakout comes, we don't know who's going to be the winner, who's going to get the biggest move up. We just don't know. 2021 was vastly different from 2017. In 2017, literally everything, big monster rises. 2021 was a completely different animal. And it's been about finding out what was different about the animal, and what were the things that could have been done to increase probabilities. And so going into this moment, that's the thing I'm focusing on, data, right? What are the things that increased probabilities? And so that's where we're at right now. But I'm excited. And that's what I also tried to include in this newsletter, what increased probabilities. And so you can check that out, blockchainbacker.substack.com. Of course, we'll go through a lot of this stuff on the channel in the coming weeks, but this was a kind of like a case study, kind of like a long thesis write-up thing. And I was working until like 7 o'clock last night writing it, and woo, I'm tired. But I'm glad it's done. So, all right, there you go. Bitcoin still chilling. Bitcoin, yeah, whether or not it's still following 2016 is the big answer, or are we following 2021? XRP, of course, the bigger mover today. It got up to, it happened in a minute, right? Let's take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes of boom. Hello, good morning. I'm awake. And then stalled out, hasn't done anything since then. But one thing that we've looked at for this past week was kind of expecting something like that, because we've held on top of our supports. This was the first time in the last year and a half we get through. Of course, we get through during the SEC, but we're not able to find any type of reasonable support on here. We just go through it like butter on that August 18th liquidation. For the first time, we actually do daily candle closes to precision in here to hold on top of this, and held every single daily candle close on there for finding supports and then moving up another level. So the speed at which this moves, I'm not sure. What I would suspect is the thing that I always say is that XRP is moving with the rest of the market, the most unsexily thing that people like to hear, because there's so many conspiracies out there about XRP. But for any type of massive, significant move for XRP, my speculation would be is we're waiting on this. Maybe XRP is the one to trigger it to break out, right? But I think we won't be like, every move won't, like, we won't have Alex Cobb live streams that don't crush the market until we get through there. And maybe it is a sustained XRP breakout that finally gets us through there, and the market gets YOLO at that time, and then we're good to go. But these moves up are great and all. It's nice to see a 60 printed there on XRP. But, for the numbers, to get a better idea of, let's get up here, right? And then that's the answer, in my opinion. Right? My speculation is that let's get up here and we'll find out what XRP is really capable of. And I think we would see things start getting more exciting upon the breakout with the total market cap. Because what does that mean? It means the whole market's bullish, and that's what we need. And right now we're just stuck underneath resistances. So it's sure, perfect back test, new high. But of course, this is just where we broke down from right here. So there's nothing, no big actual breakout as of yet. As you know, we got some work. We got some work to do. Great to celebrate a green day. But I'm focusing on the rest of the market. That's the thing that's the most important to me. Bitcoin's not my largest bag. It is my second largest bag, but XRP is my largest bag. And I have done enough research in here to know this thing goes with the rest of the market. I don't buy any of the narratives out there. I don't buy the clickbait titles. I don't buy into any of that. It is all about capital inflows into the crypto market. So speaking of capital inflows, let's talk about this really quick. Is of course with the safety trade dominances and Bitcoin dominances. Of course, Bitcoin's back down to 53.68% dominance, but the safety trade dominance has remained the same. It's followed along. This period right in here, this was a very euphoric moment for the altcoin market here back in 2020. We haven't seen, this is really what we thought, right? So they haven't changed these lines. These have been here for months, and the expectation is that this is what would happen. So what we've seen with that Bitcoin dominance rise is you've seen kind of two main things. One, you've seen the dominance of USDT fall, the dominance of USDC fall, and the dominance of Ethereum fall. So it's been a washing machine trade within itself. So you could see that over here as the USDT dominance has fallen. But what is also on top of that is there's this extra element that doesn't really get portrayed in here when you look at it like this, because this can actually kind of stay the same, and Bitcoin dominance can actually rise from this one particular element, and that's if the supply of USDT is rising. So if supply of USDT is rising, but the dominance of USDT stays the same, who is inherently taking it? It's Bitcoin. So here's one thing that's very interesting about seeing the USDT supply increase right now, is that, of course, we have this big fall here in May of 2022. What's going on in May of 2022? Everything is hitting the fan. Life is rough. Narratives are terrible. You got stock market crashing. You got crypto crashing. Celsius, 3 Arrows Capital, BlockFi, everybody, Doomtown. But go back and, look through history and how many times has that actually occurred? Only one other time has that actually occurred where we've seen USDT supply fall like that. It's only time. Otherwise, it's been, moving its way back up. And that one other time happens to be October, November 2018. What's happening in October and November of 2018? November of 2018. Capitulation of the market, right? So we have it happening over here in May of 2022, right? And then we have it happening over here in November of 2018. So this has happened during crash and crumble periods of the market, and it's happened twice. And so what we're seeing right now is we're actually seeing USDT has worked its way, although its supply has worked its way all the way back up to its previous all-time highs of supply. And now we're starting to march on again for USDT supply. And even as supply increases, we can see over here, dominance is not increasing. So someone is being the inheritor of the USDT coming in. That's going to probably be everybody, but it's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be altcoin. It's going to be everybody. But that's also going to influence dominance percentages. But either way, I think buckle up. And you guys hear me quite often be critical of Bitcoin and why you will not see content creators give their price predictions for Bitcoin. One, they would sound really stupid if they said $300,000 because they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. But let's just say they said $150,000. It's like, well, wait a minute. You're telling me this is going to change my life and we're going to like double the last all-time high? That's nothing, right? And they don't want to do that because it's not good. It's not what crypto's about. Crypto's about insanity, right? And we go through in here and I show that data of how poor of a performer Bitcoin truly is, even versus like the crappiest of altcoins. Bitcoin doesn't perform better. Of course, people always like to point to poison time, say, well, look, it hasn't caught back up to the previous all-time high. It's about your accumulation, right? The only point that matters in this moment of time is right now. What are you in right now? Because this is the only moment of time that matters from here on out. What is your percentage rise going to be from this particular moment, and nothing else matters. And if you're chasing Bitcoin, good freaking luck. That's all I'm saying, man. Good luck. That is not to poop on Bitcoiners too hard, a little bit, but not too hard. It's just math. Math is king. Bless math. So all right, I'll get off that high horse. Anyway, USDT dominance or USDT supply increasing, a sign you would want to see. It waddled here at the previous high for some time. Officially, USDT supply is starting to break out, rock and roll. So, all right, Bitcoin tame, sitting there above $34,000. We're still waiting on a decision here on if this is going to be a big breakout. A bigger breakout happening much sooner. Could have a little bit of concern that this is going to take a lot longer than we would hope. We've brought that up. This next range here, which we don't even have the whole thing on here. Again, it goes like this. You got another 7 months in that range if that ends up being the case, and you would not see altcoins do nothing. Very, very little magical activity happening in altcoins in this scenario right in here. But if we do have this, the show-stopping event's just around the corner. So we're still waiting on that for Bitcoin. XRP, you're above 60 cents this morning. Congratulations on the move. It's nice to see life in there. We're, of course, on top of that range that lasted for so long, and we actually successfully backtested it with candle closes, all closing above the previous candle closes as well. The nice thing, too, is like even the current price is even above the wicks from in here. So this is nice to see this happening in here. Of course, this is the SEC, not a security event. This is the relisting on all exchanges, unable to sustain, but there we go, out. I believe that covers really most of it. Oh, we haven't done the stock market yet. So stock market, Dow Jones is down 83 points yesterday. It was up over 500 yesterday. So it did catch a bid yesterday, up over 500 points yesterday. S&P is down 5 points and the NASDAQ is down 72. So the Dow is down 0.28%, the S&P is down 0.16%, and the NASDAQ is down 0.5%. But we had a monster day over here in the stock market yesterday. Look at that. You got Coinbase that's up today. Why? Because crypto is doing well, right? You got the NDXT that is up 0.02% currently right now. So NDXT, that's the NASDAQ 100 technology index that is up. We've been talking a lot about that the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about that in newsletters as well. US dollar currency index still ranging. No decision here as of yet. This thing is, I'm going to bet this thing's going to decide itself tomorrow. Tomorrow is when we will have the FOMC meeting. That is in 1 day and 4 hours from right now till we get a Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Current consensus is that we will have a pause. It's 99.7% priced in that we will be paused. This thing bounces around from this side to this side, and whether or not there's a 0.3 chance of a hike or a 0.3 chance of a cut. But this will now be the third out of the last 4 meetings that the Fed will have paused. And so the market is, that's an interesting thing to happen there, right? So that's very different from last year. We're doing like 75 basis point rate hikes every meeting for like 4 or 5 meetings in a row. Then we do 50. Now this will be 3 out of 4 where we have done nothing. So market waiting for that answer. And I am very intrigued to what does occur here as we have this market practically pricing itself ready to try to get through here. Again, that's like saying, hey, we're getting through tomorrow when we know this thing should last several weeks. So we'll find out, but I'm gonna bet things are okay after tomorrow. But either way, 99.7% probability that we are going to be paused after tomorrow's meeting. We will live stream this, so tomorrow there'll be markets in the morning. then there will be the Federal Reserve interest rate hike meeting where we live stream it. So essentially the order of operations of how that ends up occurring at 2 p.m. I believe it's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Let me pull it up, just to give you correct times to give you so you can prepare tomorrow. You can make sure you reschedule all of your work meetings to hang out in the channel. Okay. 2 p.m. Eastern will be the rate hike data that comes out, and the decision will come out. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go live here on the channel at 1:55 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll go live 5 minutes before the meeting does start. We will catch the market live. We'll watch Bitcoin. We'll watch the stock market as that decision comes out and see how markets do react. Then 30 minutes later, Jerome Powell will come on and speak, and we will watch that together. And that will be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So get ready for that. And then we all just kind of hang out in the chat and just listen. I shut my app. And we just see what Powell says, and we see how markets react to it. I don't know how markets are going to react to it. I never try to predict how the markets are going to react during an FOMC meeting. But sometimes we can have extreme volatility, especially the day before, the day of, and the day after. So we're coming up on that, and that'll be tomorrow. We've talked a long time about this. We've been watching this countdown going on 20 days, 15, 14, 5. Here we are. It is tomorrow, and then we can shut up about it, and we won't talk about it anymore for a couple weeks. So, all right, there you go, guys. XRP's trying to fight up there. But again, I think the big element in here is we're seeing a lot of shifting around in here. The altcoins have been the recipients of more of the price action here this past week for the last 7 days than Bitcoin has. Waiting to see if that dynamic does shift a little bit in here and we start seeing altcoins get pulled back a little bit. As Bitcoin really tries to push us through, and then to finally get through that big old breakout in there, and then baby, let the games begin. So, all right, there you go. Bitcoin holding, XRP up today. Mixed market over here today. Stock market slightly down today. DXY slightly up. It was actually slightly down last night, so it's been pretty volatile even on the DXY. It was down to 105.92 last night. Gold sitting at $2,000 even currently right now. Yields mixed. So longer duration slightly down today, but I mean you can see it. 30-year is at 5, 20 years at 5.2. Where are you? 10-year 4.86, 5-year 4.81. So yeah, mixed over here. Anything else of substance happening in here? Oil is back down to $82. You saw all the oil fearmongers screaming that that's going way up again. Here it is back down again. Coinbase is our winner over there in the markets today. Let's go look at the heat map. Here's a clue of how the market is doing today. Is that right? Is Nvidia down that much? Yeah, it sure is. So there you go. The winners today are healthcare, beverages like your Coca-Cola and Pepsis, telecommunication services like your cell phones, insurance, credit services, but consumer electronics, consumer cyclicals, and energy. Energy is down today. So I'll give you kind of a clue of how the morning is starting off today. It is a mixed market out there. Not everything is red. Not every sector is red. Kind of the bigger components of the market are, these ones right here, and they're obviously in the red. So we're seeing indexes get hit by them. But you can see in the rest of these components in here, it's a pretty big mix. Looks like energy, Google, Meta, Amazon, Tesla, Apple, and Microsoft are pulling the markets down today. But otherwise, here we go, guys. A waiting game. I do think it's going to be a waiting game for for a little while here. I don't think anything is going to be impacted by FOMC tomorrow. But research, prepare yourself. I think that's the thing. I don't want to come on here and be a hype moon boy. I am a hype moon boy to get all the way back up here. But just trying to remain mature and not be like, oh my gosh, boom, must watch till end. We're on our way. I think we are, but not today. You know what I mean? just, we're working on schematics that are very powerful to create big moves, but they can just take a little while to work themselves out. And I think we are. It might take a little while, but otherwise it's a good, exciting thing. And it's nice to see some life into XRP after holding on top of a support that was a resistance for a year and a half. But I just think we need to see the whole market move up. And so to say, can the whole market move up? We see the schematic. It's perfect. It's back at preliminary support at the top of the range. We're just in the waiting game for where things shoot out and go. So all is well in the world, I do believe. Now it's just a waiting game for the next leg up, probably the big powerful leg too. So, all right, I think that's it. We can jump into. We can jump in there. Again, if you missed it too, we've seen USDT supply increasing finally happening in here. These have all been signatures of bulls happening in here. All right, S&P futures rise as benchmark gets set to close out third straight negative month. Okay, that's not true. Markets are on board with the Fed's higher for longer policy. CNBC survey shows. Okay. Pfizer swings to quarterly loss. No. Again, Bloomberg, they just really want us to learn about Israel. Credit strength is baffling. Fed watchers ahead of rate decision. Caterpillar falls as shrinking backlog rate raises demand worry. Bank of Japan is handing back the Japanese bond market to investors. JetBlue cites staggering delays for wider than expected loss. Banker bonuses and equity underwriting are looking abysmal. We got nothing. Why? Everybody knows this is the guy. This is the thing that can impact markets, and that we're waiting on. All these little other data points and news stories don't really matter. This is the thing, which is why we got Jerome Powell here. That's why you got Jerome Powell here. They know it. That's what's tomorrow. That's the thing that impacts the volatility this week. And again, I try to remind everybody, expect volatility. We typically see it today, tomorrow, and the next day. That is life. It is just part of the volatility of markets, and there's no real major alpha to take from it. It's just wild. It just can be big and wild for traders. Sam Bankman-Fried is back in the hot seat. How could AI and blockchain work together? On the Bitcoin white paper's 15th anniversary, Wall Street threatens to swallow its one-time challenger. Okay. Warren Buffett's crypto stock beats Apple and Amazon, but not Bitcoin. Are Bitcoin ETFs headed? Are Bitcoin ETFs headed for one epic Gensler rug pull? Analyst weighs in. Burr, burr, burr. Are you getting a carrot dangled in front of you? Is that all that's happening? SBF takes a stand, but Bitcoin searches soar and other news. Hodler's Digest. Yes. What impacts sentiment? Price. Price go up, search goes up. Simple as that. Google searches will follow prices. It is not indicative of things to come. It is indicative of people heard about the price coming, so they're now wanting to buy. SBF takes a stand, but Bitcoin searches soar. Bitcoin white paper turns 15. There are now nearly 40 million Bitcoin addresses in profit. Yay! That's always nice. Okay. Well, there we have it, guys. XRP 59.7. One of the few in the green today. Atom looks like it's back. Cosmos is back in the green. I think Cosmos had a decent day yesterday, like 8% or something like that. So, all right. There we have it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We're 33 minutes into this thing. We'll go ahead and jump on into the chat. Again, a little recap. Bitcoin's holding up. XRP had a pop today. DXY all over the place. Gold at $2,000. Heat map on the S&P. And a lot of the market is green. It's some of the bigger weights are pulling it down today, which you could see here. Right, you got lots of green throughout the market in here. Just these heavy weights are pulling down indexes. Total, waiting for total, working on sign of strength here as we are back at the preliminary support and on top of the range in here. And I think that's really it. That's it. And we're starting to see USDT supply rise. So good times. All right. Andy Philpott gifted 5 BCB memberships right out the gates. Andy, I appreciate it. Oh, I forgot to ask for likes, guys. If you could, please like this live stream. That's the #1 way to support my channel. and so support me every day, and it's free, and I really appreciate it. I check it every day. I'm always like, sweet, dude. It really is. It's a part of my day. I'm like, okay, sweet. So if you hit the like button, it does make a difference. Even just your one little like definitely makes a difference for me. I appreciate it. Andy Philpott gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much, Andy. Daniel says, hi, bro. I asked, do you like Litecoin even though it's not in top 20 developer increase? And why don't you think Litecoin already did a full retrace on November 12th, 2021? Not as Bitcoin, who did not. Thanks so much. So Litecoin went to an all-time high, right? Litecoin touched an all-time high. It's very possible that was it for Litecoin, and Litecoin now just retraces that rally too. And we'll have to see how much it is. Litecoin, fundamentally, what are the things that it has? It's listed everywhere. It's not a security. Like, hate it or love it, it's not a security. It's a fork of Bitcoin, right? So you've had it on PayPal, you've had it over there in Robinhood, you've had it everywhere. So there's lots of access to Litecoin, and I believe they've been working on implementing and have some type of privacy features to Litecoin. Do I think Litecoin has the hype that it once garnered to be like the next big real hot thing? Probably not. Probably not. YOLO euphoria can happen in many ways, and if you've gone through this, we do a lot of deep diving into like looking at the top 20 of the market, and then looking at the top 20 with developer activity from back in 2020, and trying to decipher who's the winners, who's the losers, and was there a difference between them, and was there a statistical difference of measurement to say one was better than the other, to pick, if you go shopping for crypto, do you go shopping on CoinMarketCap and say, hey, look, this one's the largest by market cap, that must mean that the market knows how to value it and it's the one everybody wants? No, this market does not know how to price that stuff. Lost my train of thought. So with Litecoin, right, you don't have extreme developer activity happening in there. So I don't know if it garners that hype, but okay, I know where I was going with it, right? But we also know that picking the winners and picking the losers is very difficult. I come at it from a math percentage, like that, if you buy 10, what is the statistical probability of you getting some of them right? And the statistical probability is like 2 out of 10. If you just go buy 10 randomly, or if you just buy 10 from the top 10, your statistical probability is 20%. So how can I improve that, right? How can I get to 3 or 4, or get to 30 or 40%, right? And that this does seem to be the thing that made that difference in there. But it doesn't it's not a perfect science, right? It's not like it turns into 100. That's what we all want, right? We all want, I'm unwilling to lose, I must be perfect. And it's not until you can be like, look, it's like when a baseball player goes to bat, is the expectation that the baseball player is going to hit a home run at every at bat? No. Is the expectation that he's going to hit a hit at every at bat? No. Like a really, really good baseball player has like a .333 batting average. If he can get a hit 1 out of every 3 times that he gets up to bat, he is considered an exceptional professional baseball player. That means he gets out 2 out of 3 times. He gets out more than he gets a hit. 2 out of 3 times he's out, but he's considered absolutely exceptional. Somebody who hits like a .186 batting average, right? If I'm speaking to the people who know baseball out here, what would you think of a guy who has a .186 batting average? He stinks. Get him out of here, right? He loses too much. But if he hits .333, you know dang well that guy rocks, man. He is good, really good. Anybody above 300 is good. Even if somebody can get a hit 3 out of 10 times, they are exceptionally awesome. And I think like if you go into it with the expectation, no, this batter sucks unless he has a 700 batting average, it's like, well, that's just unreasonable. Like that's very difficult and it's impossible to do. And I think that's kind of the dynamic shift that happened in this market in 2021. Like if you look at 2017, you actually did have that dynamic. You had like a 900 batting average. If you bought the top 10, 9 out of 10, like monsters. Your average between the top 10 and the first alt season was 70x. And that did not happen in 2021. This was not the same type of market for something like that to happen. It was 2 out of 10, and then the average was only like 10x, 12x for like the top 10. And so understanding that dynamic has changed and accepting that and just being like, look, there's not this 100% hit rate anymore. The previous hit rate was 200 batting average. 0.200 is the batting average of 2021. Okay, well, knowing that, what could I have done? And right, what could I have done differently to maybe increase my batting average to 0.333 or 0.4? And so it's not perfect either, though, right? Like using the data developer isn't perfect because there's some stuff that's still going to go. For a really good example of something that didn't have high developer activity but went YOLO was Ethereum Classic, right? Ethereum Classic went 30x, right? In a matter of like a month. And so, and that didn't have developer activity. It didn't have high, interest in it. It was one of those elements of kind of recognizing, hey, look, Ethereum Classic's over there on like PayPal's over there on Robinhood. There's a lot of kind of dummies that don't know the difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. And we've kind of seen it before where they just kind of YOLO buy Ethereum Classic. And that was kind of the thesis on Ethereum Classic, and it worked. And so you say with Litecoin, you're like, well, it's a legacy coin. It's been around for a long time. It's with everybody again. It's one of those things on PayPal. It's on Robinhood. It's not a security. It's on every single exchange out there. Does it have that capability? And is it a familiar name? Yes. Is it a trusted name? Yes. Will it have that YOLO to it? It seems difficult because, like we saw, it wasn't 100% that developer activity gave you a 100% hit rate. You still had a couple that didn't have high developer activity. For example, Binance Coin. Binance Coin was in developer decline in 2020, late 2020, December of 2020. Binance Coin was in developer decline. Still, it went up 2,450% from December until the peak of the market. So, you have to kind of understand that and understand the nuances of everything. But when you really look at this and you say, okay, let's run all these things on the top 20, right? Let's go through Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, everything there in the top 10, and you run, or top 20, and you see like 70% of the top 20 is in developer decline. You're like, holy cow, this market does not know how to price itself. This market is terrible. We just went through a 3-year bear market here in crypto, and it doesn't know how to price itself. It's insane. So Litecoin, we don't really have the developer data to know if it will do great. I don't have a developer report on there for it, and I don't have I didn't see any developer activity, extreme developer activity on it, and I didn't see. Let me check it one more time. And developer report doesn't report on developer activity of rising or decline. Let me see if we have anything on here. There we go. Screener. Dev activity. This thing takes a minute to load. It's like populating the entire cryptocurrency market. I'm going to see if Litecoin's in there. All right. While I'm doing that, let me read the chat. James V gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate James. And so does the person who you gifted it to. Michael J. Love says, hit the friggin' like button. It's why? Okay, thank you very much, Michael Love. Russell Rods, do you cover which alts currently have strong data in yesterday's newsletter post, or just how they performed in 2021? Yeah, we do talk about the current ones right now. If we went through the reports and we go through both of them, we go through 2 different sets of datas on the current ones right now, and we do a case study of what happened in 2020 to 2021. So we do a case study of what happened in 2020 and 2021, and then we say, okay, so how does the market look now with the same data, right? Who's the top 20 in the market caps? Who's the top 20 in the dev activity? Okay, here we go. Is Litecoin in here? Not in the top 25 or top 50, right? Top 25. Okay. I'm waiting for it to load and we'll get back to it. Russell Rods, do you cover which? Oh, you already got that one. Thank you, Russell. James V, watching in Rayong, Thailand. Thank you, BCB. Thailand, what's up? That's awesome. Other side of the world. Agent 412, longtime lingerer, first time SC, first time super chatter. Do you think EOS is still a good hold, or would you trade it for something else? Is there a chance to hit $90? Man, you are you are way behind. So yeah, EOS was abandoned like 2 years ago. And even a year and a half ago, I made a decision on EOS that I was not going to be a hodler of that any longer. EOS, again, dev data. It was the top one. It was one of the top ones in 2019 and 2020. I've done so much thorough stuff on this that EOS used to be like your number 3. So imagine Ethereum is the most active chain, followed by Bitcoin, followed by EOS. So, I mean, take your Cardanos, your Polkadots, your Cosmoses, your Binance coins, everything like that is below it, right? Your XRPs, your Stellar Limits, they're all below. EOS is blasting everybody out of the water in regards to total transaction volume, total transactions on chain, and total devs, total developers working on EOS. It's up there fighting against Bitcoin and Ethereum in the top 3 to try to be the biggest guy, way surpassing XRP and the XRP community in regards to number of developers in it. And then you watched it decline, and you watched the developers decline. We've gone back through this stuff throughout history, and the developer decline. So like right now, they're at like 30 full-time devs. At their peak, they're at like 500, like 350, 400, something like way over 300 full-time developers. It used to be a massive, massive animal. And then under the hood, the developers started leaving and abandoning. And right now they're down to 30. So, from a technical perspective on EOS, it's like back at its like historical lows. Well, it holds supports here. I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance it does. But if you're looking at it from like being something that people are building on and working on, and it's going to grow and surpass everything, there's not really any indication of that. Right? So, to each their own. That's the dynamic shift, right? That's the dynamic shift of 2021. Developer decline was the determining factor on failure for the most part. There's a couple of anomalies there, but that was the primary driver, it seemed. So unless it pulls like a GameStop style short squeeze or something like that, seems unlikely. Big Shroom, hey BCB, you're an inspiration. I made a commitment to clean up my life this weekend, and you are a huge role model for why I'm so motivated to make it happen. Thank you for everything. Well, holy cow, man. Anybody can do it. Anybody can clean up their life. I'm telling you, man. Like everybody, I've hit my own rock bottom before. Thank you, Big Shroom, and I'm glad to be an inspiration. Zoltan Vakulia gifted 1 BCB membership. Thank you very much, Zoltan. I appreciate it, man. Lord Hydromage, do we get 2 big legs up here at the end of the cycle, or only 1? Is that a 2 alt cycle? Question. Excuse me. Fighting an illness. I doubt there's 2. I doubt it. All right, I'm looking for Litecoin, guys. Sorry. It's definitely not in the top 50. Definitely not in the top 50. Let me do this. Let's go by daily active addresses. So there you go. Yeah, there's like literally no activity on Litecoin. Like literally none. I'd almost call it 0. I would almost call it 0. But I don't know. I don't know if that metric's like if they're having a hard time reading that metric. One thing that is confusing to me on Litecoin is the daily active addresses. They're monstrous, like 224,000 daily active addresses. So is there a lot of activity that is actually happening with Litecoin? Maybe that's influenced by being on those major places like Robinhood and whatnot. It's possible, but that could just be exchanges that are having that happen, right? Because they're listed over there. Bitcoin Cash is the same way, right? Bitcoin Cash doesn't show that there's dev data on there, but it shows that it has over 100,000 daily active addresses. That's a lot, and it's a lot. For example, XRP has 16,800 daily active addresses. Chainlink has 3,600. Cardano has 34,000, but you have Bitcoin Cash with 100. You have Bitcoin Cash with 101,000 and Litecoin with 224. The only two higher than that are Ethereum at 386,000 and Bitcoin with 944,000. So Litecoin happens to be number 3 in regards to daily active addresses. Don't know if that metric's really going to matter. So there you go. Litecoin done. Dilkansky with the super sticker. Dilkansky, thank you, brother. Kim, 589 gifted a BCB membership. Kim, thank you very much. Zoltan says, no likes, no treat. That's right. It's trick or treat. I'd like a treat, please. Treats come in the form of likes. Thank you, Zoltan. Mintman says, can you please wish my wife, Paige, a happy anniversary and a happy Halloween, everyone? Enjoy the day and have a blessed day, too. Okay. Hey, Paige, this is the blockchain backer, and your husband, Mintman, wants to wish you a very happy birthday. So I hope you have a great day and a happy Halloween. Mike Storms, BCB, Visa is valued at $500 billion. And if XRP reaches a market cap of $500 billion, that equates $9 XRP. Can we compare XRP against Visa? Apples versus oranges? No, we can't. I don't know. I mean, that makes a really good conspiracy theory video. You know. But no. Visa is a company. XRP is a digital asset, right? Maybe you could compare Ripple, but not XRP. Visa is just a payment processing company. XRP is an actual asset or a commodity. So they're not the same, you know? I think everything is going to just matter on crypto in general. The market cap of crypto, it's the place to look. Right, and I try to do my best to kind of, and it's not to be rude. It's just to get people thinking a little bit, because I know we get sucked into a lot of the YouTube narratives that get pushed out there, a lot of them, and it's really just how the market reacts, and XRP follows the market, and I think it was definitely an eye opener. You got to see it for yourself that even with the SEC breakout, unable to sustain itself. Right. And what does it do? It liquidates with the whole market. Right. Now Bitcoin breaks out. Finally, XRP is shifting its way up. Right. This is not by coincidence. This is not by chance. This is how this market operates. Right. Is XRP doing this on its own? No. Bitcoin's breaking out. Bitcoin's on the move. Altcoins are moving. Everything is moving. So XRP is on the move too. Right. Thank you, Mike. And I try to really, with those types of stuff, it's not to be rude. It's just to say, we could see the correlations. We're moving with the market. We get a lot of narratives spit to us, but the very obvious correlation of the market and comparison of the market is really like XRP versus Ethereum. Can it catch the market cap and have the same valuation of Ethereum? That's the place I'm looking for. And when can price action have sustained momentum that's when we see it happening throughout the whole market. And especially, of course, we need it in Bitcoin, and then we need to see it in the whole market. And that's when XRP does go. So it's no doubt when XRP does start shifting its way up, if it does, you'll see everybody say, what happened? Did a switch get flipped? And then people will start sharing news articles and say, look, this is what's going on. And it's like, well, the altcoin's moving too. The altcoin market is moving as well. And Bitcoin is breaking out. Those might be influencing. It's like, no. So yeah, that's where I come from. So I kind of shoot down every storyline that goes with it. It's just about capital inflows into the cryptocurrency market. And if I look to a particular asset that I would want to compare valuations against, it would be like a catch up to Ethereum, just because it's done it like 5 times, where the price can like hit what Ethereum's market cap is. But that's always historically been like a big fat rejection level for it. So, all right. Oscar is hiding with the tricks. Oh boy. Yeah, we haven't seen Oscar today. I know that man works a lot, so he might be sleepy. Crypto Student 99. Wow, thank you very much. I've been here for 3 years. Yeah, I see that. It's got the 3-year anniversary. This is my daily dose of reality, learning and thought-provoking time regarding this crazy market. Thank you for everything you do, being so unselfish with your time and research. 702 to the moon. Man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The super chat's very kind, but the 3 years of sticking around, the kind message and the kind words, that's amazing. 3 years. We kind of are at that point now, where there's members that have been here for 3 years now. So definitely an OG and an original one, right? So thank you. Jerome T gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you, Jerome T. And of course, everybody, if you get the gift, if you're the lucky one to get gifted, make sure to thank whoever does it to you. This community is pretty dang cool. Kevin G, new member, welcome. Joseph Woodward, member for 4 months. It says, BCB, if the Fed continues to pause, do you think the indexes could reverse upward and Bitcoin continues as well, possibly giving us a blow up top before crumble? It's going to be hard to try to... Oh, I said happy birthday. See, look at this. Like, PTW is on top of it. I got to do the Mint Man thing again. I screwed that up. I said happy birthday instead of happy anniversary. Hold on, we're going to get back to that. I'm not going to predict the narrative for what's going to happen with Fed pausing. Like, all I can do is show you data of what has happened, of Fed pauses and stock market behavior, right? That's all. That's the only thing I can do. Like, trying to guess beyond that, I'm giving you an ignorant perspective of somebody who just doesn't know. These are really... Let's get DXY. Like, we could look at the last 23 years and just see kind of what happens during Fed pauses. Like, things don't really like hit the fan. That's not necessarily even that we set new highs in the Dow in here, right, through this pausing period. And then we cut. But it's not like the market's turned up due to cutting, right? So you have so many people who think we're going to kill it because of cuts, right? But then, like, look over here, right? So this is like similar to where we are now, right? So like we've been in this, right? We have a big fall, we come back in. But the thing was, we keep setting these series of higher lows happening in here as this pause comes in, right? The series of higher lows. Very questionable on if we are or aren't here. It's a hard, definite no. I mean, if you take out that one, like, hard, definite no, it's not a series of higher lows. It's Goblin Town time. But, this is back into retracements, right? As you got into the retracements in here, you get through that retracement, boom, pauses start in here, and then the market rallies, the market cuts, and then bam, crushing, right? In here, right? Market rallies, market pauses, cuts, there's one last push, but then lights out, right? So there's no, like, in the last 23 years, like, cutting has been bad. Pausing mixed kind of results in here, right? One, like, we break out, 2, we kind of pause. Here in this pause, okay, coming back to all-time highs. But how it would happen and the narrative of how it would unfold, like I think your question is about this particular Fed meeting. Hey, BCB, if the Fed continues to pause, do you think the indexes could reverse upward and Bitcoin continues as well? Maybe that's just how the narrative ends up happening, right? What I look at is I look at this and I'm like, look, I think this thing is going to break out. I think it's going to be an exciting time in the market, whether that's, this structure happens to be timed with a narrative at the same time, and we all like sing kumbaya and say everything's okay because of a narrative, maybe. But I personally don't look to the Fed to tell me that. You know why? Everybody said, don't fight the Fed. Don't fight the Fed. Don't fight the Fed. That was the bottom of the market. XRP's bottom, Ethereum's bottom, Litecoin's bottom, Matic's bottom, Quant's bottom, right? All these things, these bottoms. The selling climax of the market is the first day of 75 basis point rate hikes. And we have 75, 75, 75. They raise. Did the market die? No. So, trying to determine what will happen because the Fed does this particular action on this particular day, like the third pause is the magic number. And that means that we do this. I just don't know. You know what I mean? And not even that I don't know that, I don't have a speculative guess that is the marking point. What I do see is we're at sign of strength here, right? I do see that we're there. And maybe that's the narrative the market rolls with, maybe. But it's, that's about all I could say in regards to that. Jerome T says, BCB, when do we officially speak of a bull market? So, bull market's a funny word. If this goes into new all-time highs, it means we've been in a bull market for over a year. But, the thing I've always said is we're going to turn around. We're going to turn around. You guys all screaming for 12K. We're going to turn around. We're going to go into retracement levels, right? So we go back to retracement levels, and then the market determines, was this a large bear market rally retrace, or does it break out because we're actually in a bull market, right? So if it breaks out, it means, hey, we were in a bull market the whole time. If it collapses from retrace levels, then it was a bear market retrace, right? That's all it was. So to say, when do we officially speak of a bull market, we actually would have to say, the things that I've said is we're going to go back to retraces, right? Then the market decides from there. And that's really my thoughts, right? Either it confirms it as a bull market or it breaks down because it was a bear market retrace, right? So I don't think you know that answer until you get a definitive breakout happening up in here. The problem is people, they'll wait till that moment, right? So the term is silly for me, because this is a bull market, right? Does this count as a bull market, right? I guess it's whatever you want to call it. Does this whole, what have I done? What have I done? There we go. Okay. Does this whole move from here to here count as a bull market? Maybe. Right. So, but it just, if it rejects here, what was it actually? It was, a bearish time period within a bigger bear market, right? So it was a bull trend in a bear market, right? So a retracement style thing. And so if you're looking for bull market, you want to say, hey, we're going YOLO, we're going to do a 2017 70X of everything in the top 10, that kind of bull market. Probably Bitcoin needs to be in all-time highs and just getting through all retracements and then getting through all-time highs. And then you're just kind of all right, this is the bull market. This is not a bear market retrace. The thing is a lot of people just kind of sit sidelined waiting until here, and then they'll buy here. That'll be the big thing. If your best friend's mom text messages you right here at a 2 trillion market cap for crypto, and they're like, hey, how do I buy SHIB? You're like, oh man, it was a bear market retrace the whole time. If they still won't touch it, hey, maybe we're still moving. Like they won't come pouring in until all-time highs. So I don't know. Using the term bull market, difficult. So like in this example, right? This is 2014 through 2016. We talk about this, right? The official start of the bull market is right here. That's the start of the bull market. People say, it's just a really long bear market. Really? But it's climbing the whole time, and it kept climbing. So didn't the bull market technically start here? Right? If that's the case, then that's what it would mean. Right? My obvious concerns with the market are having to do with the macro landscape. Bitcoin has never, ever gone into a new all-time high without macro markets. And are macro markets going into a new all-time high? That's the big question. So whether I answered your question or didn't answer your question, I answered it the way I wanted to. I think I missed somebody too. So Jerome, thank you very much. Gino, I got to go back to Mintman. Can you please wish my wife Paige a happy anniversary and happy Halloween, everyone? Okay, here we go. Mintman, we're going to do it again. Hey, what's going on, Paige? This is the blockchain backer. Your husband, Mintman, wanted to wish you a happy anniversary and, of course, a happy Halloween. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. There you go. Let's go. Tino, do you look at accessibility and exchange listings when picking your alts? And do you plan to short Bitcoin if your thesis turns out to be correct? I don't plan on shorting Bitcoin. I plan on hedging it by shorting the United States stock market with puts on the tech sector, on things such as Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and like outside of the tech sector, like United Health, and stuff like that. So no, it's not going to be Bitcoin. The hedge will come from, I'm going to head over to the stock market and hedge it. The reason why, right? The reason why, you had a two-part question. I'll answer that one first. The reason why is what we saw happen in crypto, that when prices crash and crumble, what happens to exchanges? You're like, yes, dude, I shorted the top and Bitcoin just crashed 90%. I'd like my $5 million from you, exchange, please. And they're like, sorry, we're insolvent now. Don't. Right? So that's a problem. But, for me, like coins, like it's not entirely true because I have a couple that aren't on like Coinbase. Like I do have Monero, which is not on Coinbase, but primarily over 90% of my portfolio, I do like to see that coin is available on Coinbase. So that's the answer to the other part of your question. And Tino, to be fair, right, if my thesis turns out to be correct, I don't want my thesis to be correct because it's not a pretty sight, right? If this thesis turns out to be true, it's not good. One, it's just like, it's not good for the world, right? Big recession, all that kind of stuff. That's not good for anybody. I mean, it's not prosperous. That would suck. I don't want that. I would much rather have a bull market. Two, it's so much uncertainty about the future of crypto. That's concerning to me. I don't like that at all. And three, this is my life. Blockchain backer is like my daytime life. When my family's not, my kids are at school, wife's off doing her thing, I am blockchain backer. This is my life. I don't foresee it being a like super awesome blockchain backer life in this. It's like, okay, cool. You called the top. I don't care. You're only as good as your last call. That is life in this world. You're only as good as your last call. Nobody gives a crap what you did. If you got this bottom, that top, blah, blah, you missed this one. You know what? You're only as good as your last one. And people will hate you or love you based on that. And this, whether or not it goes down as a legacy of, hey, he got that right. I'm dead serious. I would much rather the world sit there and call me a dingus if this is wrong and the market goes through and I have egg on my face. I'll take that all day. I can recover from that. I can. I can live my life like that. It's okay. I'll figure it out. This would be much harder. This would suck. So I don't want that. I don't want this to be the thesis that I have. But the reality is we know crypto only goes into new all-time highs with the stock market. Is the stock market making a setup of something that goes surging into a monster bull run? Doesn't really look like it to me, right? So unless if the stock market turns around and like does something spectacular, right? We have to, I don't see how we don't worry about retracement levels. This isn't good for Blockchain Backer YouTube channel. This sucks. You may think it is like, oh, he got it right. It doesn't matter. It's not good long-term. It's bad long-term. Great for like a month, bad for years to come. So I don't want it. This, bad and good for like a month, but then great long-term. So I'd take this all day, any day. But this is just the reality. That is a spot that like $2.2 trillion on the total market cap crypto, where we're probably going to see some struggle. And I hope I'm wrong. If we even get that high, right? Even if we get that high. Jeffrey, I think I got you, man. You're a new member. Thank you very much. Oh, wait, I'm off. I'm off. Here we go. I skipped a bunch of stuff before I went to that one. Sorry, I'm going through it. Hold on. Okay, Gino says, BCB, I've been practicing my ability to identify the crashing structure. I'm seeing the BCB crashing structure on TLT from its peak in March of 2020. Can you look? Am I seeing it correctly? Right, so this exact question got brought up maybe a month ago. The thing is, this is, you're doing bond yields, right? I think we even, let's see if we still have it. Like somebody asked like this on the channel. Yeah, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is this? Probably, but like the thing is, like, I don't know why you'd want it. You know what I mean? Unless if you just think the Fed's going to just start cutting like crazy, right? And that bond yields are going to fall quickly, right? This is a 20-year, right? A 20-year bond yield. It's hard. I mean, because what if the Fed says, we're hiking by 10 points? Throw all that out the window in half a second, right? So due to this asset being so influenced by Fed's decisions on rates, I have a difficult time with it. And I'm curious why so many people do chase this one. Why this is a social media phenomenon of wanting to buy the bottom of this one. And maybe it just has to do with the social pop culture of thinking the Fed has to cut. I think the thing to watch just is if the Fed does cut. Like it's not setting any higher highs, so it's not anything. It's just doomtown, man. Here's the challenge, right? So what I would be thinking to myself is, and like whether or not that's that, right? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Now we go up to 4, right? Do you actually have it here? This one's tough, right? This one isn't like ridiculously clean. Are you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Right? I mean, because that's kind of what that would do. Like, do people really want to hang out in this thing for years and trade a bottom range of this thing for years? I think people are really trying to buy the bottom of this thing, hoping it goes like that because the Fed's just going to cut all the way down. They're literally saying higher for longer. So if you think this is, you think to yourself, well, they have to be lying. But maybe they're not, right? And if it is higher for longer, it would mean this is what would happen to TLT. You'd just be down here for forever. So if you're wanting to like play this range in here, okay, I get that. But if you're like trying to buy and hold, I'm not so sure that's what the market's going to give you. Because even after a crashing structure, what comes after a crashing structure, right? You get back up and then ABC sideways until finally it goes. And this would probably stay here for years. And if the Fed is serious about being here higher for longer, it would be years, right? Years of this like 5 to 7% mortgage rates, or 4 to 5% 10-year Treasury yields, 4 to 5% 20-year yields. And that there wouldn't be some big massive surge up here unless if the Fed cut back to zero again, right? So I don't know if that will be the case. So again, it would be a consolidation structure at the bottom of a crashing structure, and based on the pace at which it's going, it'd be there for years. And I'm not so even sure that it's like ridiculously clean yet on there, and it's not something I personally am interested in grabbing. Andrew Hunter in the chat, he says, BCB, do you think H-bar will not reach its all-time high this coming bull run due to inflation? So somebody asked me about this once a week, so this gets answered quite often in the chat. The inflation is impactful, right? It's like 50% inflation on H-bar. H-bar has good development, right? Good development. All good stuff. Problem is a 50% inflation, like a 4.236 extension on H-bar. On its market cap, does not take H-bar into a new all-time high, I believe. So that's how impactful that inflation has been on H-bar, that it would not even get a new all-time high if its market cap 4.236 extensions. I think I only skipped that one from Gino. Gino, thanks, brother. I hope I answered your question okay. Uh-oh, got an altcoin mentioned here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. I'm uncomfortable talking about it, bro, because I'm sure you have a bag and you're trying to get me to talk about it. So he's asking about a altcoin. Nobody talks about it. It's in over a month, but it's up 1,500% in the last year. Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't know any dev data on it. I've never heard about it before. You saying something right here, blockchain biker. I don't know what it is, dude. Sorry, man. I've never heard of it. And it's not even in the top 100. So I'm gonna bypass that. I appreciate the super chat, dude, but I also don't want to turn my channel into exit liquidity of some coin, dude. It's just kind of how it rolls here, man. It's a generous super chat. It wasn't the typical, hey, here's $2 now. Hey, let me dump this altcoin on your audience, right? But yeah, I've never heard of it, man, and I don't know. It's not in the top 100, and I don't know. You say nobody talks about it anymore. Well, go find the people who talk about it. Mr. Pavelon, new member, welcome, brother. Drew Lander, thank you, BCB. Alt Research, I've been looking at GitHub commits for recent activity on top of developer growth, FYI. Yeah. So we actually talk about that in the newsletter that I put out over here, right? That's actually included all in here. All about the commits and everything like that. Not just developer growth. We go way beyond developer growth. But thank you, Drew Lander. Tanner says, our XRP dedicated video? I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to show. I know the targets, but guess what? I want it anyway. Thanks, Dad. Bitcoin to 12K. I think that's my problem. I don't have anything a whole lot different to say for XRP that you haven't heard 1,000 times. But you know what I've learned throughout the years? Sometimes you guys are okay with that. You're just like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Just say it again. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Jasper asks when Moon by saying, hey, BCB, if you had to guess, when would Bitcoin approximately reach its 702? That's the $1 million question, Jasper. Nobody knows the date. Robust8 says, hey, BCB. Hey, thank you for the super chat. It says, keep up the great work. I'm a big fan here. Do you think Bitcoin could get used as a tool to invest in altcoins to the point Bitcoin dumps to your target while altcoins keep flying, then shift to Bitcoin? That would be very different than how the market's ever reacted. Look, I'm open to anything. Like, anything is possible. That's always my mindset. Anything is possible. Just, can I like bet on it? Like, can I bet that's what will happen? I can't. I have to kind of like look at the market and say, look, these are the exact order of operations on how things have done and how the market, the ebb and the flow of the market is. And it's usually not Bitcoin crashing and crumbling and going into the ground, and the altcoins are just surging during that time. It's not that it's not usually that. It's that it's never that. It's either Bitcoin's going to all-time highs or Bitcoin's going back into a retracement, and there's excitement in the market. People are making money. They've made money on Bitcoin. They're like, heck yeah, I got all this extra money now. Let's get real sketchy. Let's go buy something on Uniswap. Right? Let's go throw some money at something crazy. Let's just pump stuff. So it's usually the altcoins are moving because people have now made winnings on Bitcoin, and they're ready to like really like ramp it up and double down. Right? Like a blackjack player wins a few hands in a row and increases their bet and gets crazy. I think that's kind of the phenomenon that really happens in the market is the money flows out of Bitcoin. They're like, all right, now let's get real wild. It's usually not. Crash and crumble, and the money's flowing over there. But I brought it up before. Like, one thing that would scare the crud out of Bitcoiners is if only one Satoshi moved from Satoshi's original wallets. If those wallets got activated, and if one Bitcoin moved, what would that do to the Bitcoin narrative? He's alive and he has access to his Bitcoins. The narrative drastically changes for Bitcoin. I think that would create some bigger fears. And that's also the thing with the Bitcoin ETF, right? Like, how could a Bitcoin ETF get approved with that little thing there? Hey, there's this one guy who's got like 10% of the supply. He's got like $1 trillion, and he could just like send it to zero, and we don't know who he is. Like, we have no idea. And if that happened, right? If that happened, like all these banks, like BlackRock's going to be held responsible, the SEC, right? All of them. They'd be like, hey, did you take that risk analysis there on that one dude who's got like a ton that nobody knows about? Like, if one Bitcoin got activated, what would happen to Bitcoin? We don't know. Of course, the immediate response would be, that can't happen. It could. I mean, it could. Well, Names Dean says, you mean the 4 Satoshis, right? Well, I mean, that's what you speculate. There's a lot of narratives in the Bitcoin communities that aren't true. I don't know. I don't know if it's 4. I don't know if it's 1. And no one does. You all speculate. 8 Rabas, thank you very much, brother. Mohammed Shanofer, new member. Welcome to the club. JJ says, what would you say the most likely retail reason will be for which altcoins go compared to how DeFi was the narrative in 2021? And what would be your top 10 overall, even outside of developer growth? I'm not going to give my top 10 altcoins thing. I appreciate the super chat. I'm not going to do that. So we had a different phenomenon in we had DeFi summer, right, in crypto back in like 2020, right? So DeFi was like a sector and like rallied. We also had like Chainlink really rally in the summer of 2020. But there haven't been any like real sectors in the market that have really been taking off during this whole time period in crypto right now. So I'm not sure if there is a sector in itself that is going to be the thing that goes, right? By now, you would think you would already see one of those sectors doing something at this point. I don't think we see a sector in crypto rallying crazy. You know, top 10 overall. I mean, that's just picks, right? I mean, that's what it is. Hey, give me the altcoin picks is what it is, right? If you want to see an understanding of like my mindset, like in the end, it doesn't matter what my coins are, because even if half of them do blowout explosions of 20, 30, 40x, you guys will always be like, what about this one? And here, I mean, I think we even had an EOS question today for years beyond, right? That'll always be the thing. It's not like, man, Cardano was the bomb, right? Ethereum Classic was the bomb. It'll always be the ones that don't. And the mathematics specifically tell us now, if you think every one of them are going to go, it's highly improbable. It's just not the way the market's going to work. So if you're relying on an influencer to come on here and give you picks, and you're going to rely on that influencer has some special sauce that you don't have. He's got insight. He's got knowledge. I can tell you half of them are being paid to tell you which coins. The secret truth. We are approached constantly by these crypto companies to promote their coins. And they don't pay little amounts of money. And you know it, on this channel, I've never accepted one. If I had gone that route, I would have multi-millionaire just from blockchain backer. Multi-millionaire. I never do it, but I get approached nonstop. So know that when you're getting picks from a lot of these guys, they're not telling you they're getting paid to give you picks. So the thing I could do is like just give you data. Like that's going to be my thing. I'm going to do data. I'm going to run analysis, show you how things played out. Here's what would have happened in this situation, that situation, this one, that one, and how things would have improved. And I'm not going to give you picks, but I'll give you the data that would have shown you what would have been the best strategy on making picks. And we'll see if that continues forward. Right. So thank you, JJ. Samuel Wobble, if the expectation is smart money exiting the stock market soon, where is their rotation? Could that decouple crypto from the stock market? Well, it's a very easy rotation. It's called 5% long duration yields. Right? Make 5% annually doing nothing. But also, of course, there's even a newsletter written in there, and you guys have undoubtedly heard about it on here. I've opened that one up to the public, and I left that one open for like a month. Gold in the equity markets, right? Historically, we do see that type of rotation. If this is a Great Depression style event that happens in there, it's probably just yield chasing, right? Cash is king. And this is the ultimate form of cash. Not only are you in cash, but your cash is yielding cash. That's probably where they would end up going. But the interesting thing we'll be watching for is if gold gets the breakout, right? It's already gotten through this 702 retracement of this range. But if gold goes into an all-time high, there's such a huge, long inverse correlation between gold's bull runs and gold's bear markets and the stock market's bull runs and the stock market's bear markets. So this historically has been one of them, has been gold. But I would also suspect high yielding treasuries. Thank you, Samuel. Julio, Mr. BCB, what are your bullish targets for Link? Answer now or later in a video. Well, with Link, again, it's just whether or not this is just a retracement level. The first target of concern is the target that has been the problem for almost all these assets when they fire their way up. And that has been, you can get there. Here we go. We'll just do it on this page. You guys don't want me to lose the XRP page, do you? Here we go. All right. Link USD. The challenge point for everything with Link and the assets we've seen so far has been right up here. Right at about 13.5 to 14 bucks. That's been the first major struggle of the market, and we haven't really seen much be able to get beyond that. For example, we'll look at Litecoin, which has gotten back up there already, pulled back since. See Litecoin struggle right here. Again, this is why we talk about Bitcoin. $38,000 is why the first major concern for Bitcoin comes up in here, because here you go. There's Litecoin struggling at that level, not able to get through. That is approximately 13 to 14 bucks there for Chainlink. BCH USD. You could see that Bitcoin Cash, exact same level, right? That's the struggle point. And we haven't really seen many big names be able to get through there just yet. So this has just kind of been our resistance level. Of course, that's also that previous support from back there. If you remember Cathie Wood, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk doing their live stream, that's where they bounced the market out. And that was the support level. So it happens to kind of coincide with the exact same spot. So they're at about 1340. Breaking through there if this thing goes full-blown YOLO crazy, which I'm hoping so. I think Chainlink has the fundamentals for it. But I'm not blind and stupid to like ignore the market. Like, let's see everything get rallying. But this is the first concern because we've seen this happen multiple times. So about 1340. Which is why I said I'm like, Chainlink was great down here. I mean, yesterday I was like, but you're not going to catch me buying Chainlink now, right? That's what I said yesterday in yesterday's video. All right. Jack, remember for 24 months, BCB's got special sauce. Jack, 2 years, dude. Thank you very much. Again, happy Halloween, everybody. Brandon Hammond says, I enjoyed the newsletter. Thanks for telling me what's gonna moon. Just kidding. My favorite one is still the alien technology one. Absolute madness. Yeah. Right. Typically, right. So whenever the stock market does fall, whenever that is, if that is in this area, or if that's years from now, right now, it's always going to be a story. It's always going to be something unexpected. It's going to be something that nobody saw coming, and that's it, right? So it's fun to kind of play around with that. But okay, all right, guys, we did it. We're at 1 hour and 33 minutes. That is silly long for today. Tomorrow we have markets in the morning, and then we have Fed live stream. So you get a silly amount of live streams from me tomorrow. And those are always fun, and especially since they always happen on Wednesdays, which always mean they are frog days. So we play the frog. It's been quite a while since we've gotten to really jam the frog after a Fed meeting. Sure would be epic. If the Fed meeting can get us through, right? If the Fed meeting can get us to break out with our sign of strength, we'll be frogging it hard up in here. But we always try to have a good time on Wednesdays. And I know some people are like, "What? This is so immature. This is not for me." I'm sorry, that is what Wednesdays are. But otherwise, guys, that's going to be it for today. You kind of have a good peek at the market right now. We're just kind of waiting on a bigger time frame move to happen at this point. Otherwise, things look great. And we'll check in on it again tomorrow. So don't forget the SPX. Okay. What did you say the time frame of resistance is? Similar to July 2020 to November of 2020? Yes, that's what this is. This is August of 2020. This is November of 2020. So, all right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Brandon, for the kind words on the newsletter. If you guys are looking for something to do, of course, you can check out bcbacker.com. This is a course of over 40 videos, over 11 hours of content that I put together, teaching you how to set up your own charts, your own indicators, and teaching you a lot about the historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market to have a better understanding of how this market has behaved throughout the past, along with technical indicators, patterns, and really teaching about Wyckoff accumulation, Wyckoff distribution, Elliott wave theory, and it does have a downloadable spreadsheet or downloadable PDF in here for you that pertains all the stuff to a lot of these different subjects. It's $39 one time, no recurring fees, no subscription fees, just once. And then the big one that was released yesterday is the big long newsletter that was put out there talking about altcoin performance, a deep dive into developer data, how high developer activity coins have outshined the top market cap rankings. You can check that out over there on blockchainbacker.substack.com. Otherwise, guys, boom, that's it. Hour and 30-minute long live stream. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.